You wake in the morning, and before your eyes open, before you remember your name or what day it is, there is something awake already. It has no opinion about the alarm. It doesn't brace against the cold floor or rehearse what today will ask of you. It simply is. And then, so quickly, you never see the seam. You are thinking about coffee, about the meeting, about the thing you said yesterday that still feels wrong in your chest. The thoughts arrive so fast and dense, they become the only weather you know. You call this being awake. You call this being you. But what if the thoughts were never the sky? What if you have spent your entire life watching clouds drift across an open blue, and because the clouds never stop moving, never stop changing shape, never pause long enough to let you see through them, you decided the clouds were all there was? You named them, you fought with them, you tried to make them hold still. And the sky, patient and seamless, waited beneath every single one. This is not a metaphor about thoughts being temporary. You already know thoughts are temporary. You have heard that 1,000 times, and it has not changed how you grip them. This is something older, something you knew as a child. Before you learned to call the weather inside you, myself. There was a day, maybe you were 4 or 5, when you lay on your back in the grass and watched the sky for so long you forgot you were watching. Your body was still there, small and solid against the earth, but your attention had no edges. The blue went on forever, and you went with it. A cloud shaped like a dog drifted past. Then a cloud like nothing at all. It didn't matter. You were not deciding whether the dog cloud was good or bad, whether it should stay or go. You were simply the space in which the dog cloud appeared, moved, dissolved. And when it was gone, the sky had not left with it. Do you remember that? Not the specific day, maybe, but the quality of it? The way the world was endlessly interesting without needing you to have an opinion about it? And then someone called your name. You sat up, you went inside. You learned that some clouds are called angry and some are called happy, and that you were supposed to do something about them. Keep the good ones close, push the bad ones away. The clouds became a project, a disorder to be solved. And you've been solving them ever since, so focused on making the weather behave that you forgot to look for what holds the weather. You are still here, though, still breathing, still reading these words. The sky has not gone anywhere. Let me show you where you have been standing all along. Right now, notice the thought that is present. Not its content, not whether it is useful or true, just that there is a thought. Maybe it is about this sentence, maybe it is about what you will eat later. It does not matter which thought, just notice. There is thinking happening. Now notice that you are noticing. There is a thought, and there is something aware of the thought. The thought comes and goes. It appears, it shifts, it fades. But the awareness does not come and go with it. The awareness is the constant. The thought is the visitor. You have always assumed you were the visitor, the cloud drifting through, the temporary one trying so hard to become permanent. But what if it was the other way around? What if you were the blue that holds the drifting, the still point that never moves even when everything in it is moving? This is not a trick of language. This is the plainest fact of your existence happening right now. You are aware of the thought. You are not the thought. If you were the thought, there would be no distance between you and it, no space in which to notice it. But there is space. There is always space. And that space is not empty. It is awake. You learned to identify with the clouds so young you never questioned it. Someone asked, "What are you feeling?" And you looked inside and saw a storm, and you said, I am sad. Not, there is sadness present. Not, sadness is moving through. You collapsed the watcher and the watched into one thing. You became the weather. And once you believed you were the weather, you had no choice but to manage it, to fear it, to become very, very busy keeping the wrong clouds out and the right clouds in. You built a life around this management. You built an identity. You called it maturity, responsibility, mental health. And none of it was wrong. The clouds do need tending. The weather does matter. But you were never only the weather. Think about the last time you were caught in a hard feeling. Not a mild inconvenience, but a real one. Grief, maybe, or rage, or fear so sharp it turned your body to static. You were inside it, trapped, the walls closing in. And then, if only for a second, you heard yourself think, "This is unbearable." Who heard that? If you were only the feeling, there would be no one to hear it. The feeling does not observe itself. The cloud does not watch itself drift. But you watched. Even in the center of the storm, something in you was still standing in the open, noticing the storm, naming it, enduring it. That noticing was not the feeling. It was the sky. You have been the sky all along, watching clouds you mistook for yourself. I know how this sounds, like spiritual bypassing, like I'm about to tell you that your pain is not real, that you should simply observe your thoughts and be free. I am not. The pain is real. The clouds are real. The sky does not dismiss the weather. It holds it, all of it, the bright days and the dark ones. It does not flinch when the storm arrives. But here is the thing you have forgotten. The storm does not touch the sky. It moves through it. The sky is never damaged by what it contains. You too are never damaged by what you contain. I do not mean you are invincible. I do not mean suffering does not hurt. I mean that beneath the suffering, beneath the thought that says, "I am broken," there is something unbroken, not hidden, not waiting to be found, already here, already whole. The awareness in which "I am broken" appears is not broken. It is simply awake, holding the thought of brokenness, the way the sky holds the storm. And if you can notice the thought, even for a moment, you have already stepped into the sky. Let me try this another way. You are sitting somewhere right now, reading this, maybe on a couch, maybe at a desk. Your body is touching something solid. You can feel the pressure of it, the slight discomfort of staying in one position too long. You are here, undeniably, physically here. Now notice the sound around you. Maybe there is silence, or maybe there is hum of a machine, the distant murmur of voices, the crack of a house settling. You do not have to do anything with the sound, just let it be there. Now notice the thought that is moving through. Maybe it is about the sound. Maybe it is still about this paragraph. Maybe it is somewhere else entirely, planning or remembering or judging. All of these things, the body, the sound, the thought, are appearing right now. They are present, they are real. But notice they are all appearing to you, not to a thought called you, to the awareness that is reading these words. The awareness that is holding the body, the sound, the thought, all at once, without effort, without confusion. That awareness is not a thing among other things. It is not located in your head or your chest. It does not have a shape or a color or a weight. It is not separate from what it holds. It is the holding itself, the open space in which everything appears. The sky, seamless and vast, pretending for a while that it was only a cloud. You have been looking for yourself in the wrong place. You have been looking at the weather, trying to find the watcher in the watched. And every time you looked, you found only more clouds, more thoughts about thoughts, more feelings about feelings. The endless recursion of a sky chasing its own reflection in the storm. But you were never in the storm. You were the clearing in which the storm appeared. This is what you knew as a child, before anyone taught you to be afraid of the weather. You lay in the grass, and the world poured through you, sensation after sensation, thought after thought, and none of it stuck. None of it became you. You were the space in which the pouring happened. The grass was green, and then it was not green. It was just a word, and then it was a feeling, and then it was gone. And you were still there, still open, still blue. And then you learned to close. You learned that some sensations were bad and needed to be stopped. Some thoughts were dangerous and needed to be corrected. Some feelings meant you were broken and needed to be fixed. The openness became a problem. You tried to control it, to make it smaller, to make it safe. You built walls inside the sky. You built rooms. You called one room me and locked yourself inside it. And you called the rest of the sky everything else. And you spent your life trying to defend the room from the weather outside. But the room was always imaginary. The walls were always made of thought. And the sky was never divided. Do you feel the exhaustion of it? The endless vigilance of being a cloud? The constant need to hold your shape, to justify your existence, to prove you are the right kind of weather. It is so tiring. You have been doing it so long, you forgot it was optional. But it was always optional. Not the thinking. Thinking will keep happening. Not the feeling. Feelings will keep arriving as strong and real as they ever were. But the identification with them, the belief that you are them, the fear that if they change, you will disappear, that was always optional. You are not the thought. You are not the feeling. You are the aware space in which thought and feeling appear. And that space has never been in danger. It has never been too much or not enough. It has never needed to be different than it is. It has only ever been awake. Let me show you how close this is. Right now, as you read this, there is a sense of being here, not a thought about being here, not a memory of being here a moment ago or a plan to be here in a moment, just a direct, immediate sense of presence, of here-ness, of now. You cannot think your way into this presence. If you try to grasp it with thought, you will only find thoughts about presence. The thought, I am here, is not the same as the silent, wordless fact of being here. The thought is a cloud. The fact is the sky. But you do not need to grasp it. It is not somewhere else waiting to be reached. It is where you already are. It is what you already are. The presence, the here-ness, the awareness that is reading these words right now, that is not a state you need to achieve. It is the ground you have been standing on the entire time. And here is the strangest part. You cannot lose it. You have tried. You have lost yourself in thought 1,000 times, disappeared into the weather for hours, for days, for years. And every single time, when you noticed you were lost, you were already found. The noticing was the sky, awake again, patient as ever, holding the storm that thought it had blown the sky away. The sky cannot be blown away. It is not a thing that can be moved. It is the unmoving in which all moving happens. You are that. Not as an idea, not as a belief you adopt or a teaching you follow. as the simple, immediate, undeniable fact of your existence. You are the awareness in which this moment is appearing, the open, awake space that holds these words, this breath, this body, this thought, without effort, without separation, without fear. You have always been that. You cannot stop being that. You can only forget over and over that the clouds are not the sky. I am not asking you to transcend your thoughts. I am not asking you to become something other than human. The clouds will keep coming. The weather will keep changing. You will still have bad days. You will still feel lost. You will still get caught in the storm and forget for a while that you are also the clearing. But now, when you forget, you will have a way back. Not a technique, not a practice. Just a question. What is aware of this? When the thought comes that says you are not enough, ask, what is aware of that thought? When the feeling comes that says you are too much, ask, what is aware of that feeling? When the story comes that says you are broken, failing, falling behind, ask, what is aware of that story? And in the asking, you will find yourself already in the answer. The question is a trap door. It drops you out of the cloud and back into the sky, not because the sky is somewhere else, because it is where the question is asked from. You cannot ask the question from inside the cloud. The cloud does not question itself. It only insists. Only the sky can ask. And when the sky asks, the cloud is already seen for what it is, a visitor, beautiful and brief, held in something vast. Does this mean the clouds do not matter? No, they matter enormously. The weather is your life. The thoughts are how you navigate. The feelings are how you know what needs tending. The sky does not make the clouds irrelevant. It makes them workable. It makes them bearable. It makes them, finally, not you. You can care for the weather without becoming it. You can honor the clouds without believing they are the only thing in the sky. This is what changes when you stop mistaking yourself for the clouds. Not that the clouds stop coming, not that the weather becomes calm, but that you stop collapsing under the weight of being temporary. You stop defending a self that was never under threat. You stop trying to make the passing stay. And in that stopping, you find you are already what you were looking for. Not in the future, not after you fix yourself, improve yourself, transcend yourself. Now, here, in the quiet space between these words, in the breath that is happening without you deciding it should, in the awareness that has been reading this entire time, patient and seamless, the sky pretending it needed reminding that it was never just a cloud. You were always the sky. The clouds convinced you otherwise. They were very persuasive. They still are. They will come back again and again with the same story. You are small. You are separate. You are the weather, and the weather is all there is. But now you know the question to ask. And the question will carry you home as many times as you need to leave. What is aware of this? The answer is not a thought. It is not a feeling. It is the space in which the question appears, the openness that holds the asking and the answer both. The sky, awake and whole, exactly as it has always been. You are here. You have always been here. The clouds came and went, and you remained. You remain now. You will remain when these words are gone, and the next thought arrives, and the next feeling blooms and fades. You are the constant in the change, the still point in the turning, the open blue that holds it all. And nothing you have ever done, nothing you have ever thought, Nothing you have ever felt has changed that. The sky does not need your permission to be the sky. It does not need your belief. It only needs you to stop just for a moment and notice what you have always been too busy being to see. You are the noticing. You are the space. You are the awareness in which a whole life unfolds, wave after wave, cloud after cloud, never separate from what it holds, never diminished by what it contains. You are the sky. You have always been the sky. And the clouds, beautiful and real as they are, were never anything more than passing weather in the vastness you are. So here is what I am asking you to do. Not because I have an answer you do not because I am teaching you something new, but because this is how we remember together what we have each forgotten alone. Write one sentence in the comments, first person, present tense, quiet and true. A sentence that could only come from someone who stayed all the way to the end of this and let it settle. Something like, I am the awareness that watches the thought, not the thought itself. Or, I have been the open space all along, mistaking myself for what moved through it. Not those exact words. Your words. The ones that land when you stop thinking about what to say and just let the truth of this moment speak. Write it down there. Let it be a marker, not of understanding, but of recognizing, of remembering what you knew as a child, lying in the grass, watching the clouds drift across a sky that never moved. And if this opened something quiet in you, something that does not need to be named but wants to keep listening, then stay. Watch one of the videos appearing on screen now. Let the next thing meet you where this one leaves you. Not because you need more, not because you are not already whole, but because the sky is not done showing you how vast it is, how much it can hold, how little you ever had to fear. You are still here, still breathing, still reading these words. The clouds are still moving, and the sky, patient and seamless, is still awake beneath them, waiting for you to remember you were never anything else.